Peace, peace. Gonna get started with prayer in a moment. Making sure everything is working properly. All right. Okay. Bismillah. Dear Almighty God, Allah, we thank you for allowing us to witness and experience your marvelous creation, and for the opportunity to connect for a higher purpose, rising above the chaos of this wicked world. May we be uplifted, find balance, and become grounded. We love you, we thank you, we praise you. In your holy and righteous name, in the name of your risen and exalted Christ, and in the name of your divine reminder, leader, teacher, guide, and Jesus in our midst today, we pray. Ameen. Peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, namaste. Peace to the gods. Welcome back to Zewdy Zen Zone. And welcome if this is your first time here. I am Zewdy, curator of the Zen, and this is a virtual sacred space where we come together to focus on healing and well-being and the power of positive and forward thinking. And we know that all of those things are connected. Everything is interconnected. And healing is not just a physical thing. It's a mental, emotional, and spiritual thing as well. But we want to, make sure that the inner is healing, because that is what manifests what happens externally. So yeah, welcome back to epiZewd 37 of Zewdy Zen Zone. This is so cool. Let's see who's in the building. Cosmo, peace. Cosmo says the last episode was 36, and that reminds me of something like Wu-Tang Clang's 36 Chambers of Fear. Thanks for being who you are, little sis. Oh, praise be to Allah. Thank you. I'm just striving to be myself and do something good, spread my little light. You feel me? Peace, Tatek. All love, my calming soul sister. Peace, sis. Thank you for joining us once again. Thad is in the building. Astral Healing Arts. Assalamu alaikum. May Allah bless you. Wa alaikum salam. May He bless you and everyone who is watching and tuning in and visiting Zewdy Zen Zone. Peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, my brother. Peace, Mia. Peace. Oh, everybody's coming through. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's see. People on Facebook. Greetings. If I could just look at these comments. All right. Peace, everyone. All right. So, last week I was telling y'all that I was getting ready for our monthly unity fast. In the Nation of Islam, we do a fast every month where we take our last meal on the first Thursday of the month, and then we don't eat again until that Sunday. So essentially it's a 72-hour fast. You don't eat any food, but you can have water or coffee. And some say tea. I do drink tea. So, but this time around, instead of 3 days, I actually went and did a 5-day fast. So I went 5 days with no food, and this wasn't my first time doing it. I had done it before just because I wanted to see how long too uncomfortable. And so this was my third time doing it, but I was challenged by some of my sisters. And so I just completed the fast yesterday. Praise be to Allah. And I'm so thankful for the experience and for the benefits I have received. Lost a little bit of water weight. I wasn't trying to lose weight, but that is one of the effects of fasting. I didn't need as much rest as I normally do, and that tends to happen to me whenever I fast. When I do the 3-day, at a certain point, I would say on the second night, I have trouble falling asleep. But once I finally do fall asleep, I don't need as much rest as I normally would. Like, I could sleep for maybe 3 or 4 hours and feel like I've had a full night's rest. I did some studying as well as cleaning during the fast and got a lot done. I felt very productive and very accomplished. I meditated some more. I was prayerful during the fast. And I just felt, overall, I felt very light, spiritually, physically, and had some interesting dreams. Felt very clear-headed. I also felt that my energetic channels were a lot more open and clear and, like, I don't know, supercharged. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the energy healing modality of Reiki, but it is something that I practice, and inshallah, God willing, someday I will be a Reiki master, but I'm nowhere near that at this point. But I was practicing, and I could really feel the energy moving through, like really coming through, really being channeled, moving, doing what it do. So that was one of the benefits of fasting. But yeah, I wanted to talk about fasting today because I want to continue on with the theme of healing, especially during this time where we're still in the middle of a global pandemic, and it's winter time in this part of the world. So we really want to make sure that we are doing what we can to boost our immunity and that sort of thing. All right. But let me see. All right. Okay. So I have some notes here, some things I wanted to read and speak on. Now, these notes, what I'm about to read now, are quotes from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and some things that he has said about fasting. And this is out of his book, How to Eat to Live, Book 2. He says, fasting is a greater cure for our ills, both mentally and physically, than all of the drugs of the earth combined into one bottle or into a billion bottles. Allah, God, in the person of Master Father Muhammad, has taught me that fasting and the right kind of food are the cure to our ills. So, I mean, that's the key. Fasting and the right kind of foods. So, I eat 1 meal a day. And when I first started doing this, some people that I knew thought it was ridiculous or crazy, that I was starving myself, that it wasn't good for me. And that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, it's the best way that we can eat, because our bodies don't need to be having food all day long. We don't need to be eating 3 or 4 times a day. We definitely don't need all these snacks throughout the day. contrary to some beliefs, because for a while there was this idea that the more you eat throughout the day, like small little meals, it would speed up your metabolism. And while that may be true, that it may speed up your metabolism, at the same time, what it's doing is wearing your digestive system out quicker because it's working all the time. Nowadays, there's this thing that is very popular that people call intermittent fasting. And technically, it's not a real fast. I mean, our eating one meal a day, people would consider that intermittent fasting. But it's not a fast. It's more of just a way of eating, an eating pattern. But eating one meal a day, it's important to strive to eat the best foods prepared in the best manner, eaten at the best time. And so that's what I strive to do. But I wanted to read some things about what is called intermittent fasting, because we have had this information in the Nation of Islam when it comes to eating one meal a day and the benefits for decades. You know, this book, How to Eat to Live, Book 2, was published in 1972, but it's a compilation of different articles that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote in the 60s. And now people are saying the benefits of intermittent fasting over half a century later. So this is what the people of today, the health folks, are saying that bear witness to the truth of the benefits of intermittent fasting or one meal a day. So some of the benefits are it increases the levels of human growth hormone as much as 5-fold, and that benefits fat loss as well as muscle gain. It can activate cellular repair processes such as autophagy, which is when the cells digest and remove old or dysfunctional proteins that build up inside of the cells. It improves the insulin sensitivity, and the levels drop significantly, which makes stored body fat more accessible. So this is beneficial for those who are diabetic. And it also benefits heart health by reducing blood pressure, heart rate, cholesterol, and triglycerides, which is a type of fat that's found in the blood linked to heart disease. So it has all of these amazing benefits. And, I would say don't knock it till you try it. And I am someone who can, speak from experience that eating one meal a day and also fasting has benefited me very much. I've been doing this now. What is it? Okay, we're in 2021. I really started doing one meal a day in 2014. And I'm not going to say that I've mastered it, like that I haven't had a snack since then, because that would be very far from the truth. But after this past fast that I completed, I vowed to myself and to Allah that I would strive to master one meal a day, no snacks in between. So that's what I'm on right now. And as time goes on, I will be sure to share with you how it's going. And if anybody wants any tips or help or encouragement, is interested in trying this, please reach out to me. I would love to do that for you. And if you're interested in the How to Eat to Live books, there are 2 of them, book 1 and 2, then you can get them at this website, finalcallstore.noi.org. Okay, so right now I am drinking ginger and red raspberry leaf tea. Ginger has a lot of health benefits, including anti-inflammatory, digestive. It's very warming, so it's something that's good to drink during the colder months. It helps to boost your immunity, among a lot of other things. And red raspberry leaf I like to drink because it's good, especially for us women. It helps to balance our hormones, and if you experience any issues with, menstrual cramps or bloating and things like that, it's said to help with those things as well. Fortunately, because of my lifestyle with how to eat to live and staying hydrated and relatively active, I don't really have any issues with my menstrual. So, but it's always good to, just nourish myself in that way. So that's what I'm doing. Good evening. My sister Greta is in the building. I'm so happy you fasted. Oh man, me too. I really enjoy it, and I think in the future I'm going to continue to strive to do the longer fasts. 3 days is great. 3 days is really good. One of the reasons that we fast is to detoxify, to get rid of the accumulation of toxins and poisons that naturally exist in all foods, even in healthy, natural, organically grown foods. There's a little bit of poison or toxins in it, and over time it accumulates in your body. And in order to help your body cleanse those things, fasting is a great way to do that. Because when you fast, you give your digestive system a break, and you're still consuming water. That helps to flush your system as your body's doing what it does. And during the fast, your body goes through a whole renewal. So let's do some more quotes, shall we? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, "Fast once a month for 3 or 4 days, or for whatever length of time you're able to go without food, without harming yourself, and you will feel good." Okay, I can bear witness to that because I felt so good. I felt so good on day 5. I was like, you know what? I could keep going. But I honestly did want to eat. I had some food already prepared, and I was like, I don't want my food just sitting there in the fridge, so I broke my fast on day 5. But maybe in the future I'll see if I can do like a week. I think that I could do it, 5 days. If I can do 5 days, I could do a week. But I'm not gonna push myself too hard, and I'm not gonna force it. It's important that when you're fasting to set the intention beforehand so you can prepare physically as well as mentally and spiritually. So yes, I will continue with my quotes here. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "Allah taught me that 1 meal a day would keep us here for a long time. We would live over 100 years, and eating 1 meal every 2 days would lengthen our lives that much longer. He told me you would never be sick eating 1 meal every 3 days. The fact that fasting is the cure to 90% of our ills is known by the medical scientists, but they do not teach you that." It's true. And if you speak to some people who are knowledgeable in food and nutrition and that sort of thing, some people will tell you, especially if they're not associated with the major medical fields, because unfortunately, illness, the business of illness, is a very profitable one. Many people in this country, in this world, but here in the U.S., many people are ill, are sick with so many different conditions and diseases and disorders, you know? And it's not normal, and it's not natural. Many of us are not in our natural state because we are not eating the right foods, and we're not eating in the best way. We eat too much. We eat so much junk, and many of us are overweight, and that wreaks havoc on our immunity and our overall systems. You know, I'm not a body shaming type of person. Okay, I don't make fun of people. I don't mock people for anything, and I don't. I'm not here to make fun of anyone. But the truth is that being overweight and obesity is unhealthy. You cannot debunk that. And I really want us to be well, I really do. So that's why I'm sharing these things. Now, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit and talk about our immunity some more and more in depth, because I was doing some research over the week, and something that we are coming to know that is really bad for us, but we might not know exactly how or why. Something that I came across. Now, we know that certain sugars are not good, right? Fruits, of course, they're natural sugars, and they're good for us, and they're different. The type of carbs they're complex carbs, and the way that our body breaks them down and uses them it's a very natural thing. But sugars, like high fructose corn syrup, that kind of fructose and that kind of simple carb is not good. In fact, what it does is it causes more oxidative stress on our cells, and that really hinders our immunity, thus making us more susceptible to different diseases and illnesses and viruses. So it's really crucial that we get off of these processed sugars, fake sugars, and unfortunately, it's in so much of the food on the shelves, Of course, it's not in the natural foods. So we need to eat more of those. We need to eat more fruits and vegetables. The navy bean. I think one day I might do a video on the navy bean itself, because I've been learning so much being in the Nation of Islam about the navy bean, and it's something that I eat pretty much every day now. But these natural foods, that's what we should be consuming the most. We shouldn't be eating all of these processed things and crackers and cookies, because that's where you're going to find that high fructose corn syrup, sucrose. There are these other names as well, but it's so the way that these things work and are labeled, it's just so sinister, But what we do want to do is implement more foods that are vitamin and nutrient rich, that are high in antioxidants, so that our bodies are operating at optimum levels and are able to fight things that try to invade our systems. So of course we want to eat things that are high in vitamin C. We know like citrus fruits are very high in vitamin C, lemons, limes, oranges. But what a lot of people don't know is that red bell peppers are very high in vitamin C. They actually have more vitamin C than citrus fruits, although citrus fruits are always touted. And they are high in vitamin C. But so red bell peppers have vitamin C. They also have beta carotene, which is converted to vitamin A. What else? Broccoli. Broccoli is good for you. Now, maybe I should have made this disclaimer before. I know that there are people who may not eat some of the things that are mentioned because they are considered hybrid foods. For example, broccoli. People who follow the teachings of Dr. Zewdy, they have a very specific diet, alkaline diet, and certain foods that they only eat and things that they do not eat. And that is not what I subscribe to. So, if there's something that I say, if you happen to be of that persuasion, if there's something that I say that goes against what you believe to be right, that's fine. But I'm not a Dr. Zewdy follower. I'm a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and How to Eat to Live is my food guide, and that's what I've been striving to follow and implement in my life, and I believe in it. I have reaped the benefits of it these past 7 years. So yeah, I just wanted to make that disclaimer. And what I learned from it, I love to share. So yes, all right. Okay. Peace, Kobe. Thanks for tuning in. Sosana asks, what time do you have your meal? I have my meal between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. every day. And that's what we're taught is the best time to eat. Peace, Beast Gamer. Is this a podcast? Not exactly. I mean, it's somewhat like a podcast, except it's kind of interactive because, I will talk and respond and read what other people are saying. I know some podcasts are interactive too, like there are people who take phone calls and things like that. I don't know what to call this. It's kind of like a show. It's the Zen Zone. That's what it is. Peace, Aaron. Peace, Jasmine. Thank you for tuning in. Greta says, I'm heating up my navy beans right now. That's what I'm talking about, sis. I had mine a little while before getting on here. Had my navy bean soup. And I also roasted some carrots in the oven, like carrot fries. It was pretty good. Yeah, but now more than ever, it's really important to take our health seriously, because without our health, what do we have? I've come across some people who are resistant to change when it comes to living a healthier lifestyle, because they're so comfortable in the way that they are living now because of the kinds of foods that they eat that are not good but may taste good, are pleasing to the sense of taste. And they'll say things like, you only live once and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to limit myself, as if these limits are a bad thing. But they're not. And it's unfortunate to think that way, because when you give in to your lower desires, that appetite, you are essentially destroying yourself. Yeah, you might enjoy it in the moment, but what you're doing to yourself, you are shortening your life, your lifespan. And nobody wants to hurry and rush to the grave. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to do that. Naturally, we want to lengthen our lives, and we would want to improve the quality of our lives. But when we have that weakness, we may not have the will to actually take the steps to do so. But when you have the information, when you really know what you're doing to yourself, then you're a little more compelled to make the changes. And I think that's kind of why people say ignorance is bliss, because when you don't know the truth of how you may be harming yourself and poisoning yourself, when you don't know the nitty-gritty details of what you're doing, then it's easier to do it because it feels good in the moment, and that's just, it's easy. But when you know how you're hurting yourself, when you know the poisons, and you know how they affect you, how they affect your heart, your lungs, your whatever it is, and this can apply to other ways of harming yourself, like smoking and drinking and stuff like that. When you really know what you're doing, it's more convicting, because now you know better. And so it's a little harder to do those things and not have that guilt inside. You feel what I'm saying? I can speak from my own experience as someone who used to eat all kinds of food. Before I was Muslim, yes, I ate the forbidden flesh of swine. And I used to smoke. I smoked weed. I smoked Black and Milds, and occasionally cigarettes if I was drinking alcohol. I did all of that stuff. And I knew that these things were not good for me. But I had a weakness. I had weaknesses. Although I always felt guilty, and I want to give credit to my brother Miku and my aunt Cookie, because they were like the trailblazers in my family when it comes to really just being themselves, as well as abandoning the standard American diet. So they're plant-based. My brother has been a raw vegan for over a decade. I want to say maybe over 2 decades at this point. I'm not sure, but he's been a vegan, and my aunt, who is a Rasta as well, is vegan. And so I had those influences as a child, as a young person growing up. But at the time, I was impressionable, but I still had other influences, and I didn't have the understanding of the value of what they had, although it was very inspiring to me as a young person. They are two very, very influential people in my life, and I really thank Allah for them, because a lot of what they represented, their examples really impressed upon me and informed me, and a lot of what they were and what they taught me is ingrained in me today. And so I'm really thankful for them. But anyway, what I was saying was, before I really knew just what I was doing to myself, it was easier to engage in these things, smoking, drinking, eating junk, and not feel as bad. Yeah, I knew it was unhealthy, but I didn't have the prerequisite or the requisite knowledge, that would really cause me to look at myself and what I was doing and really think deeply upon it. And it wasn't until I got into the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and really started to value myself, value who I am in relationship to God, to my Creator, and thinking about my future, the things that I want for my life and myself, in the long run. And you can't think about the long run without really focusing on the present and today and making the changes and taking the necessary steps in the present moment to get to that future goal. You feel what I'm saying? So that's really what helped me. For example, in 2013, that was really when I was fed up with the life I was living and the condition I was in, and I was introduced to these teachings, and that was the year that I stopped eating meat. It was the year that I decided once and for all that I was gonna really stop smoking, because I started thinking about my future. I'd like to be a mother someday, and I want to have a long, healthy life, if Allah permits it, inshallah. And the way I was living my life was not aligned with that. It was in contradiction to that. And so I had to make some changes. And when I started learning these things, learning my value as a black woman, as someone who's striving to live up to a certain standard, and I'm nowhere near that standard, but I'm striving. I knew that there were things that I needed to change, and there were things I needed to get rid of, as well as things that I needed to add and implement into my life. And man, it's so amazing when I look back on my life, because I didn't think that I could stop eating meat. It was something that I was literally addicted to. I ate meat every day, probably in 2 out of 3 of the meals, sometimes all 3. And I never fasted before coming into these teachings. Never in my life. Never. I didn't grow up spiritual or religious, so I never saw the need or the value of it. But man, learning about this, learning about fasting, learning about the proper foods and the body really changed the way that I thought, the way that I saw things, and as a result, it changed the way that I did things. And I'm really thankful, and there's no looking back for me. It's only forward and upward from this point. Via the Hub said, "Oh, you was thugging." Listen, I don't look like what I've been through. Thank Allah for that, okay? Listen, it's funny too, and this is why I share these things, because for some of you who are not familiar with me or haven't been familiar with me for a long time, you may look at me and see a certain thing, right? Who I am today, and at the core I'm still the same person, but it's that core person who is being brought out more and more and developed and refined and all that good stuff. That's what's happening here. But I share things from my past and where I've come from, so you guys can get an understanding of what it is that I'm trying to show you, because I ain't fall out the sky, okay? I'm coming up out the mud. Still coming up. And I'm telling you, if I could do it, you can do it. Trust me. Trust me. Cosmo says, you will get to Allah's holy level. You just wait and see. Inshallah. I mean, I'm striving to get to where Allah wants me to go. And I don't know exactly where that is, but I just strive to submit and ask for his guidance. Because I don't know. I don't know. Excuse me. Ibrahim says, Assalamu alaikum, my sister. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for visiting Zewdy Zen Zone. Oh yeah, and this link right here. Oh yeah, right here. finalcallstore.noi.org. You can get How to Eat to Live, as well as other books by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan there. Also, I just want to shout out to the folks who have donated to me in the past. I appreciate all of you. Your donations really help me, move forward and be able to create content and live my life, really. I'm really appreciative. And if anybody is interested in supporting your sister, these are the ways right here. That's my Cashapp, my PayPal, and my Venmo. Thank you very much for your donations, your contributions. And, yeah. So, if anybody has any questions, if you have any topics regarding health that you want to discuss, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I would love to get into it. I have a lot of different things that I'd like to discuss, but I would like to do it in a more organized fashion, so I'm striving to do that more. So I appreciate your patience with me as I get things together, and I really appreciate your viewership and your participation. And I really pray that you can benefit from something that's shared here, because there's just so much. I want to stress or emphasize the significance of rest. I'm not team no sleep, okay? But that don't mean I, sleep all day. Rest is essential. It's important in order for us to keep moving, to keep, to rejuvenate our system, our brains. It really needs rest. There's some people who be vamping and team no sleep, and, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And while I understand the sentiment, it's not healthy. When you don't rest, that weakens your immunity. And I can speak from experience in the past. I remember when I used to do, all-nighters, just being up for no good reason because I wanted to hang out and party and stuff like that. When I didn't get enough rest, I would feel irritable, first of all. I would feel irritable, not wanting to associate with anyone or be around anyone. Another thing I noticed when I wouldn't get enough rest is it would start to affect my skin. So I would break out from the lack of sleep, and I would much more easily catch a cold. Now, ask me the last time I had a cold. I don't know. I really don't. I have to think about it. I don't be getting sick, and I pray to Allah that I don't get sick anytime soon. But ever since living this life and striving to eat the best foods and striving to live by the guidelines of how to eat to live, I don't fall ill. This is not an exaggeration. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says it in his books, and I believe every word that he says. And trying it out for myself, I can bear witness to it. I'm a witness bearer of what he has said. But man, rest. Now, everybody is different, so you may need more. One person may need more rest than the other, but there's that, I guess, general, what is it called? I guess, amount, somewhere between 5 to 8 hours or something like that. It's something like that. I gotta look into the biology of things, but I do believe that generally women, we need a little more rest than men. That's just what I think. I believe. I don't know, but I think there's something to it biologically. If anybody out there is watching and knows a little something about that, please feel free to drop the knowledge in the comments, because I would love to be confirmed in that, or, corrected. All right. Let's see. Simply Eccentric says, I needed to hear this today. Oh, praise be to Allah. Is there anything, Simply Eccentric, is there anything in particular you wanted to hear or that you're curious about? We're talking about healing. We're talking about the fasting, as well as eating the right foods and foods that are immune boosting. Village Cooking says, is it not such a hassle on a vegan diet, heating up GM corn burgers and decaf soya lattes, aka why bothers? All that preparing must take time. First of all, actually, I'm not a vegan. I am a vegetarian. I consume dairy as well as eggs, and meat. Eating meat and preparing meat, from my understanding, actually takes a lot more time than preparing vegetables. And of course, fruits. I eat my fruits raw. I don't eat cooked fruit. I eat my fruits raw. The preparation is just making sure they're properly cleansed and chopped up or whatever. But all the meals that I prepare, which are basically vegetables, some kind of grain, maybe quinoa at times, or riced cauliflower, navy bean soup. Navy bean soup was probably the thing that takes the longest because of, all the chopping up and the cooking of the beans and stuff like that. But personally, I love that process. I do. Whenever I make bean soup, it's a whole thing. Like, I just love it. I may put on a lecture and then pray and get to work, and it's a pleasant thing for me. But no, and I don't consume soy. I try to avoid soy as much as I can. I avoid soy like the plague. Soy is an endocrine disruptor, and some people tout it as a health food, but that's not true. And I do not consume it, and I do not advise the consumption of soy. It's not good for human consumption. So, Village Cooking, I don't know where you are getting your information about that, about, I guess, plant-based, but plant-based diets and plant-based lifestyles, to me, are a lot simpler than those diets or lifestyles that have meat in them. Peace, Esco, Brooklyn. Okay. Greta Carson says, my son is autistic and it's hard for him to stop eating crackers and Cheez-Its. Autistic children tend to have gut health issues due to being picky eaters. I empathize with you, sis. Have you found any alternative kinds of snacks like that, crackers and things? Because I know, like, when I go to the store and I'll go into like the health food aisles and stuff like that, they do have certain little snacks and things where the ingredients do not have soy, they don't have high fructose corn syrup and all that kind of junk. So maybe if you can find things like that, to replace the Cheez-Its and those kinds of crackers, because I know for a fact that Cheez-Its has soy, and it's just, I know it's so difficult to avoid, but please, for everybody that's listening, do your best to avoid soy, especially if you are a man and a black man at that, okay? Because it really disrupts your hormonal dysfunction, and it will feminize you, and it has the opposite effect on women. And if you want to know more about that, our good brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad, he teaches on that. He teaches on how soy will feminize men and masculinize women. So it really messes us up hormonally. So please, I'm begging you. Via the Hub says, they have cauliflower Cheez-Its. My daughters love them. Oh, thank you, brother. Look at that. Well, are they like Cheez-Its, like the brand Cheez-Its, or are they like some other brand of that type of cracker? Tatek Kabeda says, I'm struggling to quit smoking. Any advice, please, Zewdy? I would like to know, well, if you don't mind sharing what it is that you're struggling to quit, because I know addiction can be very difficult, especially with cigarettes. Fortunately, cigarettes was not my struggle, but man, it's really about the mind and your desire, and your desire feeds your will. So if you want to quit something like smoking, you have to do your best to go after the knowledge and the information that will better inform you on why you should do this. So why do you want to quit smoking? Because it's bad for you. It's you are damaging your lungs, and when you damage one thing, it trickles into other parts of your body, other systems. So from your pulmonary, the pulmonary system, you'll end up affecting your cardiovascular system, and so on and so forth. So I guess my advice to you would be to learn more about the negative effects of what you're doing to yourself, and informing yourself on the reasons that you should stop. That helped me stop, and I'm telling you, I was smoking mostly marijuana, but it was very difficult at first. Before I had that knowledge, before I had the information. Look, I'm just trying to get the point across. I'm trying to really show you guys and give you the picture. I used to smoke all day. Like, I'll get up, brush my teeth, whatever, hit up one of my homegirls. You got 5? I go to her place, be there all day. All day. It's about what's in here. What do you have in here that's going to fortify that idea that you want to stop? Via the Hub says, not the brand Cheez-Its, but they taste just like them. Oh, great. I appreciate that. Thank you, Via the Hub, for helping our sister Greta with that. Oh, Lord. I feel like I abandoned it. Y'all on Facebook. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Peace, Lyle. I'm sorry, I just saw your message. Danny says, Zewdy, you're great. Please pray for Tigray, Ethiopia. There's a genocide happening in our homeland. Women are being raped and churches and mosques are being bombed. Yes, sir. I have been informed. I have a good sister friend who has sent me a lot of information about what's happening in Ethiopia. And I am praying for our people. And, you know, it's very heart-wrenching what's happening. And for those of you who may be interested and want to know, please do your research. I'm going to share some things soon on my pages as well to help spread the news, to raise awareness for what's going on. Because it doesn't seem to be getting national attention, you know, like other travesties and things that are happening around the world. I mean, you know how that is. It's our people, and it's really up to us to bring these issues out in order to get the attention that it deserves and international attention and aid and assistance. So, you know, I really wish that there was something that I could do, and I don't have the means personally, physically, financially to really do anything except spread the word. So I've been doing my due diligence to get the information really before putting anything out there, because I don't want to be spreading misinformation, and it's a very touchy subject, but it's injustice, and it's our people. I'm not about tribalism and, you know, ethnic clashing and all that kind of stuff, because Tigray is not my particular ethnic group or tribe, but those are my people, you know, and those are your people. So yeah, I'm praying for our people and what's happening. And I've mentioned this before, but Minister Farrakhan has said that there is no government on this earth today that can give the people what they desire of freedom, justice, and equality, and of equity. And that's true. It's the truth. You look around the world, you see the injustice, you see the corruption everywhere in all the governments. So, yeah. I will be speaking more on that as I continue to inform myself. And, you know, I might see about having a conversation about that publicly one of these days. All right. Simply Eccentric says, I'm enjoying your stream of thought. I'm not sure if you've addressed it, but lifestyle changes require consistency and discipline. Consistency and discipline. key. That's key right there. That's key. Why did I have this key in my pocket? I don't know. But Allah is the best of planners. Key. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, lifestyle changes require consistency and discipline. This has been a challenge for me. Do you have any suggestions for that? For consistency and discipline? Okay. Well, the things that help me, I mean, because those things go hand in hand, right? Really, so fasting is something that helps to strengthen our discipline, to help us develop our discipline. You may need to have a certain level of it to do it, but everything starts with the mind. So, really telling yourself that you can do it. And is there anything in particular that you are struggling or is a challenge for you in that realm? Like, I know that consistency and discipline, those are general principles that are applied across the board, but sometimes there may be certain areas where those things suffer more than others. You feel what I'm saying? Or does that make sense to you? Jasmine says, and patience is key in making change. I know, wait, hold up. I feel like I might be missing some stuff. Okay, all right. And patience is key in making change. I know as I work with my diet, I also have to practice being patient with myself. While still holding myself accountable. Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jasmine. Cosmo, righteous, noble, trust, good reports, patience, and cleansing of the mind. Okay. Kaija says, I appreciate what you shared on the preservation of the gift of life. Quick question about life. What are your thoughts on the afterlife? I hope it don't throw you off what you're discussing about. Well, in short, afterlife or hereafter is about a new world coming in after the current world that we're living in. I don't believe in the afterlife in the sense of somewhere that we're going when we die, but here now where we are, and here after the present world is destroyed. Oh, simply eccentric. Never mind, there's the answer. Thanks. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you for answering her question. I really appreciate it. And you know, that's my sister right there. She has a lot of wisdom herself, and inshallah, maybe one of these days I will have her on here as a Zen Zone guest. Might have Zen Zone's friend zone. The friend zone means something totally different here. It's like real friends. Yes. Peace. All right, y'all. So that's about it. We've been on here for about an hour. If all hearts, minds, and spirits are clear, I'm gonna start wrapping this thing up. But I really enjoyed this conversation today. I'm really happy that I got to discuss fasting as well as some immune boosting foods and, you know, just health and healing, well-being, and those things, because it's so important, especially now. We need to stay uplifted, and healing is a constant thing, you know. And like I said earlier, it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing, it's a spiritual thing, it's an emotional thing, and it's a physical thing. And all of those things are interconnected. You know, one affects the other. And the more that we strive to get our inner world in order, then the more that will reflect in our outer world. So we got to start here and here and here in this vessel. And, you know, we on our way. We healing. We healing. I feel it. I see it. And I thank Allah for all of you, for your participation, for your time, your energy, your presence, your donations, your participation, as I said. I really do, you know, and for your feedback. And I feel very blessed. I feel blessed to be able to share what I'm sharing with you all. And I feel honored to serve in this way. And it's truly a pleasure. It's a pleasure going, you know, deep with these things. And I pray that you have all gained something from this conversation. And we're going to keep it going and going and going, inshallah, for the weeks to come. And yeah, you know, I'm just gonna see. Oh, okay. Jasmine asked, can we get a recap of those immune boosting things? Yes, sister. Okay, so I mentioned, of course, vitamin C and things that are high in vitamin C, that are citrus fruits like oranges, grapefruit, lemon, lime, as well as red bell peppers, which has more vitamin C than citrus fruits. I mentioned broccoli, which I didn't really go into because I kind of went on a tangent, but it's good despite what others may think. It is also rich in vitamins and minerals, and of course water. Water is life. We need to drink water, spring water. Please leave that tap alone. Alkaline water, if you can get it, but spring water is sufficient. And if you want to alkalize your water, you can use a lime or a lemon, squeeze it in your water, and that alkalizes it. Although those are considered acidic fruits, it has an alkalizing effect on your body when you drink it. So that's that. Ginger. Oh, I didn't mention this today, but last week, get you some sunlight if you can. I know it's winter time for a lot of us, so it's cold, but it's still possible to get sun. You know, I'm here in Georgia right now, but I get sun every chance I get. So when I know it's going to be a sunny day, I block out a little bit of time to go sit in the sun and just sit out there and read or just chill in the sun. You get so much nourishment from the sun, you don't even know. And especially us as more melanated beings, the sun was created to serve us. So get you some sun. It's immune boosting, it's energizing, it's so good for you. What else? Oh, and please stay away from sugar, the processed sugar. We ain't talking about fruits. We talking about high fructose corn syrup and that kind of stuff. The processed sugar, those simple carbs that cause more oxidative stress on your cells, making you more susceptible to illness. So I think those are my key points. I'll come back next week with some more tips, some more, you know what, I think next week I want to talk about some herbs that I really like for teas, as well as you can use them for cooking and things like that. If you don't know, I'm an herbalist. I grow a lot of different things, and in the future I'm going to do more with my herbal knowledge, but I do help heal people in my inner circle with the knowledge I have, and I'm very proud and pleased with that. So yeah, we're going to talk about herbs next week and how to use them and the benefits of them as well. So thank you guys for tuning in to Zewdy Zen Zone. Thank you for visiting me. If you would like to support the content and the creator, these are the ways right here: my Cashapp, my PayPal, and my Venmo. I appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to connect with me outside of the Zen Zone, just hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Probably most active on Twitter, to be honest. That's probably my favorite platform to communicate. But I'm on Instagram too, but I'm more likely to see a message on Twitter. So hit me there, and let's build, let's connect, let's heal together, y'all. Let's do it. I still can't believe I had this key in my pocket. I don't know, I picked it up, I guess, because it matches me with, it's gold, and I got my gold on, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? I'm out here. I love gold. If you haven't noticed, we got Al-Fatiha in the back with the gold. You know what I'm saying? Gold me out, God. Okay. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. I love you. I pray that you can feel the love coming through the screen. My heart chakra is blasting you right now. That distant Reiki, you feel me? Yeah. Alright, y'all. That's it. We are now exiting the Zen Zone.